Welcome back to another episode of the Ink and Impact podcast. And today I am really excited to introduce you to yet another member of the Christian Authors in Action community, Kim Oswalt. And Kim is a established writer. We'll be talking more about all of her books, but I am just really excited to bring her on here to not only encourage and inspire you, but also to share some of the challenges that she has experienced so that maybe you can relate to some of that and get some tangible tips to help you along the way. Kim, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. I am very excited to be here.
So, share a little bit about yourself, first of all, so that they can know where you're at and what kind of writing that you do.
Okay, so I currently live in northern Utah. I have been called over the last 2.5 years to focus in on writing books that inspire. It was written for women, and then I was told that it was for all readers by an older gentleman who read my first book. But my original goal was to inspire women. But I'm learning that it's inspiring everybody to just go deeper in their relationship with God and realize that they were made for more than what they're settling for in life. It's been a really blessed journey so far.
Yes. And you, as of today, are now
Yes,
the
today.
author of 3 books.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. I learned a lot this year. The reason I say that is because my first book came out in spring of 2024. And in 2025, I released two. And so that was quite the feat. And the Lord has really spoken over me that that was too much. But in the same breath, He just blessed every moment of that. And so I wouldn't change anything, but I'm definitely going to take a little bit of time in between this one and the next one. But the first time I really felt called by Him to write was in July of 2023.
Okay.
And it was just one of those feelings. I knew deep in my heart that He wanted me to do more with my story. He wanted me to share with more than just the community of my small group that I had. It was just a really cool thing to start to see how many people could resonate with the stories that I was sharing. It's been really cool to watch how God has used these messages. But yeah, so I'm going to call it a whirlwind
Yeah.
from July of 23 to here we are, October of 25, and 3 books. So it's really
So I'm
incredible.
curious, and I'm sure the listener probably is as well. You said about sharing your stories. So are these personal examples, like memoir type stories, or?
So yes, it's been more about sharing the ways that I've seen God working in my life and the lessons that He's been teaching me as a result. And so I just feel like my stories may not hold as much significance, but the way that God has been using them is impactful for not only myself, but for anybody that encounters them. So it's just, for me, it's powerful. I listen to so many people and hear how their stories and the way that God's working in their life, just how it's impacting other people. It's a really cool thing.
Are these books based on different themes? Do the books build on each other? Tell us about that.
Yeah, of course. I didn't set out to write a series, but I feel like they morphed into a series. The first one is talking about the hand of God in our lives. The second one speaks more to starting to hear God's voice instead of the voice of the enemy or the voice of our past or just other
Right.
voices that have created a narrative in our mind.
Yeah.
And then this one is called Abiding with God, and it's just learning how to live in God's presence. So it wasn't designed that way, but God just laid it all out for me, and I just followed.
Like you said, you were writing in a whirlwind, but you weren't writing in a bubble because you
No,
also work, correct?
yeah, that is correct. Yes, I work full time. I'm a medical coder by day, writer by evening and weekend, and any other moment that I get an opportunity to.
And you're a mom as well.
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, for sure. 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old daughter that because of her age and her activity level, she still requires quite a bit of to and fro for all of the activities that she does.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
life is busy. So
Yeah.
when you sit down to write, and I know everyone is different, and I've heard it from Holly and I've heard from Christy, who have done interviews prior to this one, that their writing time and styles are different. So I'm curious, when you have those moments, you said a lot of evenings,
Yeah.
um, do you sit down with an outline and you know exactly what you're going to write about? Or are you more of the pantser who just writes whatever the Lord leads you to write?
I am definitely the second. I
Okay.
definitely don't have a plan. I almost have to go back and train myself to even create an outline for what I'm writing. I feel like it just comes to me and then I have to organize it. And so as I write, it feels a lot like that, where I get little tidbits and then I have to identify if those tidbits fit into either the chapter I'm writing, or is it going to be another chapter later on, or is God going to use this for maybe a devotional or something separate. But yeah, so I feel like the Lord just feeds me information at various times, and sometimes it fits into the context and sometimes it moves in its own special direction.
So as you're writing and you're freestyling it and it's in these whirlwinds, how do you know when you've finished your book?
Oh my goodness. So with that, I would probably say I've had multiple different experiences. With my second book, I was like, I am done, period. The end. Let's move forward. And then a day or so later, the Lord was just like, you're not quite done with that one. Go back and play a little bit more. So I felt done, but he had more to say. And so I definitely wanted to be in tune to that and just capture what it is that he wanted the message to read as. And then there's just been other times when I've reread through it all, and I'm sure you can relate, where you've reread through it all probably 20 or 30 times, and it's okay, that's it. So I think each project, it varies based on how it's all coming together in general.
Yeah. And you have self-published all three, is that correct?
That is correct.
I would love for you to also share about your other exciting news that happened today, which is about your audiobook.
Oh, that was a journey. I did my first podcast episode earlier this year, and I did it with a friend, and just, I guess on a whim was like, oh, I should do an audiobook. It looks like super easy to record and edit and do all the things. And then I started to record, and it is a daunting process. And I feel like there are times when I feel like I have a voice for it, and then there's times when I don't. There's a lot of caveats that go into recording an audiobook, and I learned that through the process. But the long and the short is I met someone over the summer who had her book published through ACX Audible. And I was just asking her questions about her journey. She shared a few details. And when I talked to my husband about it, he's like, maybe this is something that you should look into. And so I decided to go ahead, and God just provided. The lady who recorded my book, her name is Kim Miller. She is a Christian, and she was saying that as she's reading and recording these messages, her hands are just going up. She's just affirming the content. And so it was just this really blessed interaction. And she shared personal stories that she could relate to my story. So it was definitely this really awesome experience of God just providing through a person I met over the summer to even speak into that this was an option. And then the ball just started rolling, and the lady who is my narrator, she did just an outstanding job. And I'm just so excited for everyone to listen to it.
And so you said you were notified today that it is now, is it available for your review or is it available for sale today?
It is available for sale. Yeah. Yeah. The review process was a lot longer than I anticipated. All of the things with all of the self-publishing, it takes time.
It does.
Takes time. So
Yeah.
you just have to be patient, but assertive in the ways that you need to be assertive to get it to the finish line.
A couple of things came to mind while you were speaking, but one question I had was, is the audiobook the same as your third book? Are you releasing those at the same time, the paperback and the audiobook?
So that file was just completed with all of the proofreads and edits simultaneous to being uploaded, if that makes sense. So I still need to send that content over to have her start recording. So the audiobook will probably be a month behind the release of the physical
Okay.
paper copy. Mhm.
So this audiobook that's currently available is for book one or book two?
I have book one and book two
Oh,
available at
she
the
did
moment.
both.
She did
Oh,
both, and
oh,
she is excited to do the third one as well. So,
oh, fantastic. Oh, that
yeah.
is so great that she's going to be able to do all three of them, keep that same
Yes,
voice, and oh,
absolutely.
love it. That is very exciting. And I can't wait to see how it takes off. When you were setting out to write the first book, I know you mentioned that God laid that on your heart.
Mm.
Did you have any particular goals or hopes or aspirations with that book?
Finishing it. Yeah, I never set out to be a writer. I have never taken any writing courses beyond high school. And so it was never even on my radar. And so when God put it on my heart, I won't lie, I battled him quite a bit. And I feel like it was that I'm not equipped. I'm not, use someone else's voice, Lord, the whole Moses experience. But it was one of those things that he said, no, I want to use you for this. And yeah, obedience. I learned some obedience lessons and it's been blessed because I'm realizing that success doesn't always come in the full outcome. It just comes from taking that first step of obedience to him and leaving it in his hands to accomplish what he wants to accomplish with it.
Yeah. And you have gotten confirmation from readers. You've said,
Yes. Yeah,
like I've said before, God has people waiting for the books that He calls us to write. And
absolutely.
you have found that. So, where do you currently have your books for sale?
They are available on Amazon. I do also have them in 3 different bookstores at the moment. I've got 2 here locally in Ogden, Utah at Beehive Naturals and at Queen Bee Giftery. And then I'm in a bookstore in Texas and working towards getting in another bookstore in Texas.
Now, I'm very curious. How did
Yes,
you get into those bookstores?
another one of my writing coaches.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so I've been a part of a couple of different writing communities. Yeah, so
Communities are so beneficial in so many ways. Yeah.
they really have been. The things I've learned, I don't know that I wouldn't have even known how to put one foot in front of the next. So I'm just grateful for the expertise and for especially in our our Christian Authors in Action group, just being able to bounce things off of each other in real time on our calls, just gaining that wisdom and helping other people along the way. It's just really cool to be able to encourage each other.
It really is. And we get new ideas from each other, and
Yeah.
the feedback is just so helpful because we so often just we're in our heads, right? We
Oh,
only know what we
100%.
know and we put forth our best efforts, but it's always helpful to get feedback if that's being received, if it's being understood, if it's clear enough, all of that. And we
Absolutely.
always have room to improve, right?
Oh,
No one has
yes.
ever fully arrived as an author.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And especially with the self-publishing journey, there's just so many steps along the way that it's helpful to get other people's feedback and just guidance for that next step. Sometimes you don't know what it is, and somebody just provides a little bit of comfort knowing that it's not as scary as you think it might be.
I think fear is part of it. We all have those mental blocks. We have fears about so many different things. And just having community to help us pray through it and
Absolutely.
all of that is so helpful. And I know fear is one thing, but what maybe are one or two other challenges that you've experienced in your author journey so far?
Oh, technology.
Okay.
Technology. I can sit down to write all the things, but there's a lot of complications that are possible. Like your file could have issues, or, yeah, just navigating the next steps and the unknowns of the next steps, if that makes sense. I
Mhm.
guess it would be technology, but technology is only a part of it. So I guess just fear of the unknown. I know fear is its own special thing, but just the unknowns of what's to come.
Yeah, those next steps for sure. You have already mentioned how God has encouraged you to write, and you're already seeing the fruit of hearing people say how much your book has impacted them, both men and
Mhm.
women. How else has God shown up for you in your writing life?
Oh my goodness. Community is one of the ways, especially because I didn't come from a writing background, but he has provided a new community for me to be able to lean on and glean from, in addition to encourage and support as well. I don't know, it's like I have friends all across the country who are doing the same thing I'm doing, just in whatever lane he has them in. And it's been really awesome to inspire each other. And I've met women at a writers conference. I've met people in our writing community, and it's just really cool to see the way that we rally around each other. It's just new friendships that I wouldn't have encountered if I hadn't gone on this journey.
You've been part of the Christian Authors in Action for about a year, I think. You ask great questions. I love
Hmm.
that. And that you show up whenever you're available, because I know you work full time, so you're not always able to join us at the Inkwell, which is our weekly writing session. But you frequently show up to a lot of the author marketing lab and the
Hmm.
training and so forth. And I'm curious as to if you remember what led you to want to join the program.
I feel because I am still learning so many things. And I feel like, again, so many people have so much wisdom to bring to your writing journey that it doesn't hurt to just grab a hold of any information that might be helpful for you. And so that was the first thing that led me into it. The way that you present the material is really helpful as well. A lot of information, but a lot of really good information. A lot of it was new information that I hadn't heard before. Yeah, again, I'm a sponge at this point, and I want to keep learning so that I can keep doing it well.
Yes, there is a lot of information, and I try to provide information, especially about marketing, because we all need to market from day one as authors, but there are so many different ways to market.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's why I distilled it down to 12 different aspects of marketing. So each
Yeah.
month we focus on an aspect of marketing because we're all writers at different stages.
Hmm.
Some topics relate more to other people than other topics, but we can all have refreshers. We can all continue to learn because as technology constantly changes
Yes.
and service providers come and go, and we're
Yeah.
always having to learn and modify and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's helpful to have that community and training available.
Yeah, and the way that you have it broken out is it's bite size. So you can take that little bit of information and see what you can apply. But then we also have access to the library to be able to go back and just re-hone in on something that we learned, but we weren't able to use at the time. So I really like that aspect as well.
Oh, I'm so glad that's been helpful for
Yeah.
you.
And marketing is I changed my answer to whatever question you asked earlier. Marketing is probably one of the harder things, but
One of the challenges, right?
yes, for sure. Yeah.
So excited for all that God has been doing and will continue to do through you. I'm celebrating with you for your book
Thanks.
release and your new audiobook release today. And I'm just so grateful that you were willing to come on here and speak with us. So, how can people connect with you after they listen to this podcast? And I know that they're going to want to connect with you.
Oh, thanks. You can go to my website, which is kimoswalt.com. You can also connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, it is Kim Oswalt hyphen author. And then Instagram, I believe, is Kim Oswalt underscore author. So yeah, go and follow me there and stay tuned for upcoming releases and book launch party coming up in about a month. It's
Yeah.
so exciting to be able to celebrate this
Yeah.
this third baby.
Love it. The book babies. We got to
The book
celebrate them.
baby.
And just to
Yeah,
clarify, Oswalt is spelled Oswalt.
that is correct. Yes.
And I will be putting the link in the show notes as well for ease of clicking. Just wanted to
Fantastic.
clarify that. And as we conclude our interview today, I didn't know if you had any final writing tip or if you wanted to circle back to anything that we discussed earlier for the listener.
Writing tip, just sit down and do it. Some of the times you're going to have full clarity. Some of the times it's going to be a little bit harder to work through, but just be obedient to the calling that God has placed on you and use your time wisely, whatever time you do get, especially if you are also working full time. Make the most of the time that you have. But yeah, be obedient. He has blessed me so much through this journey, and I can't wait to see what else he has in store, but all from just being obedient.
Thank you, Kim. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you. So happy to be here.